Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's race. It is the GT3 Pro Series here at Toga Motorsport. I'm your commentator for tonight, Zeta, so we shall get this underway nice and quickly here at Monza. All the cars are just rolling out as we speak. We'll jump on board with the Liam Neeson, which I spotted earlier in the practice server. That is literally all just pictures of Liam Neeson, because why not when you can? That is our chat box. And, sorry, I could not get these up until such a moment has started stream. There we go. Right, that is all my screen set up. Let's get on with it. So yes, this is the GT3 Pro Series here at Monza. We've got so far 15 cars are out on track at the moment, as the Aston Martin has a quick jump back to the pit. There is a Ferrari at the number of 612, rather apt. Anybody that remembers the old 612 Scaglietti. So yeah, first opening laps of everybody just getting out, getting the tyres warmed up, and having a bit of a go of it. Green. I didn't copy that across. I need to copy that link across. I have just realised I haven't set up the driver of the day quite well enough for this. Give me 2 tips to find. In where's Discord gone? On the other screen. Bear with just a tick. The first few times should be coming through shortly, and we shall see where everybody starts to file in this qualifying session. It is only myself here tonight for the commentary. Unfortunately, it was due to be Hayden with us, but unfortunately he has had some internet troubles tonight. That's me. There we go. That is that up to date. Lock that and move that down to that. Right. Yeah. Okay. We have all 16 on track, and I say all 16. The Liam Neeson 420 has dropped into the pit. Currently, your pole sitter is a Victor Vincent for BF Racing in the number 70 Ford Mustang with a 46.740, so not a half bad time at all. First one into the 47s and comfortably so. 46s. Everybody else on the grid is 47 or higher. So, closest in second being 47.265. That gets you all of the useful information there on screen, so you can see that. thought there was something missing. Apologies, it's a little while since I have streamed. I've been having some computer issues. And we shall have this all up and running. I am going to be doing this tonight. So, yeah, that's your top two. It is Mustang from BMW, which is the BMW that we are now following on board. Andrei Oshishkin for Red Panda Racing. In that 134 BMW. The boards have actually just been split by the 997 Aston Martin, being the closest car to get into 46s with a 47092. All three sectors actually being held entirely by the Mustang of the number 70 Mustang there. Anybody else on an improvement? What have we got? We have Stein Donkelbob. Down in 11th is on a half-second improvement, which is not half bad going round here. This is where I commentator cursed them, and all goes to pot coming out the last corner, but looks to be okay. Takes that nice short, tight line to the pit lane, towards the pit lane, towards the inside of the tar line. Jumps to 9th with a 148.020. Very well done. Carries on round because they've got enough fuel and tyres to go again. Anybody else on a big jump? We have Martin Varga in the 86 Mustang. Is currently half a second up. Previous best has been a 47.707. Lots of sevens there for that one. They're currently 0.4 up on their previous best. So any quick math can do that one. That is going to be could jump them up into jumps them into 4th. There we go, jumps a position, and bails on a further lap. Anybody else on an improvement? Josh Wood in the Toga Academy, McLaren. There's a M in there somewhere. I'm so going to spend the entire evening getting Mustang and McLaren mixed up, aren't I? Is currently 0.5 up. Previous best at 48.687, so dropping, potentially getting to the 48 ones, which is going to make the sharper. Put them up into the top 10? Apologies, I think that might have been my end. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Right. Apologies, Josh, that may be a curse to the commentator. Your time has just fallen away well and truly. But it will still be an improvement. Jumps up with a 48.680. And stays in 13th. We also have Sadak in the Dynamic GT Porsche coming through the top of the corner. That is the 2 Lesmos, I remember correctly. I should remember this track. I've done enough laps of it. Currently 0.4 up. Oh, I was about to say Gulwa in the 997 Aston was well up. But looks to have not quite. No, that's. My race control is doing something a little bit funny. It might take a few laps for this to work out. Apologies for this one. Josh Wood, it's saying Josh Wood is 0.6 up. It's also saying Josh Whittick in the Toga Academy BMW is 0.4 up, and Roman I'm gonna go with Roman from Pega Motorsport is currently a second or so up on previous times. Jumps into 5th, having not set the time as of yet. Sets a commanding time there of 47.595, so very nicely done there, and is failing on a further lap. Check back with our 2 Academy cars there. Just as a quick thing, they're both well and truly up on their lap times, as that was somebody who just jumped massively. Who was that? Josh Wood, who's now gone into 12th. Whittick was the other car we were following and is in 13th. Josh Wood managing to pick them there. 48 48,055 for Wood, and Whittick was a 48.2 flat for that one. The Vincent hasn't managed to improve on time. However, times are starting to get a little bit closer and closer on that one. So we shall see how this goes. We are down into 4 minutes remaining on qualifying. Anybody in chat want to say hi, etc., you're more than welcome to. Also, please let us know how levels and everything are. I can adjust things as necessary. Down by about half, I think. There we go. So, hopefully this is working okay. There we go. Pop out chat, that's the one we want. That one in there. I want to just skim up. Let's have a quick flick back. Just following this big old Mustang through. Anybody else on a hot one? Ethan Davis following the other Toga Mustang. Not sure which one that is. Yes, it is the Varga 86. I keep finding the Toga cars. It's not intentional, honest. Vincent is actually up on his time, going through the second chicane up towards the Lesmos at the top of the circuit. 1.7 up. However, Chris Wall in the Logistical Nightmare Racing number 4 Mustang is coming around to the end. No, coming around Curva Grande towards the second chicane as well. Was up, is lost a bit of time, is a bit slow out of the first chicane, and the Mustang does Mustang things. It is still a big, hairy-chested muscle car, that thing. Unsurprisingly, it is them at the top of the order. However, just having a quick look there at the ballast situation, the Aston Martins are plus 3 kilos around here. So that is a car that can be trimmed right out around here, and it is basically all straight line speed for this one. It is a glorified oval, quite frankly. So, who else is out there? We have Dean Murrell in the frosted 612 Ferrari that we were looking at earlier on. Currently 3/10 up and on a fairly sizable improvement. If you can hook this up, that will jump him ahead of Sadek and possibly into the top 10 if you can really hook this up coming through the last corner. Loses a bit of time on the way in. Can they make it up? Get on the power. Bleeding time away all the way through the exit of that corner. Lost a couple of tenths. Still going to be a decent improvement. Jumps into 13th. Very well done. Roman in the 444 Pega Motorsport car is also just coming through. That is Curva Grande into the second chicane. Currently 1.1 up. And yes, Vincent has managed to improve. Goes 46.560 with a commanding position there on pole position. Half a second ahead of anybody else. The next 3 cars are all within 3/4 of a second. Are all within 1/4 of a second of each other. And first car outside of the second, as the timer now ticks down to the last few laps coming in. Who have we got and where? Murrell is out on a flyer and green. Wall is out on a flyer and green, 3/10 up. Murrell is currently 2/10 up. Donkervolk hasn't gone well. Overshot braking zone a little bit there by the looks of things. So that leaves Murrell and Wall. Wall is there on track where it is. So we shall follow Murrell to the end of this lap, and then we'll jump back with Wall to see how they finish up. Currently 2/10 up for Murrell in this frosted Ferrari. Let's see how they finish this lap out. That's not going to be legal, unfortunately. That is game over. Ran that a little bit too wide. Got on the gas and didn't make that one happen. As Wall is now coming through the last corner. No such worries so far here. Playing it reasonably safe. Still 1.8 up. 0.18 up on previous best time and puts it in third. Very nicely done. Closes that gap on second place. So, that rounds out the qualifying session for tonight. And we just wait for everything to tick down to the end of the qualifying session, and we will line up on the grid. So, nice tight, still a surprisingly tight field for what is a very, potentially very busy first corner still. That is 16 cars all trying to get through a very narrow first corner. As you can see on the screen there, that is a message from race control over in the stewards box. Due to a lack of staff and numbers, we will be live stewarding the first 5 laps. That does mean there will be potentially a red flag if more than 20% of the grid is involved in one or more incidents in the first 2 sectors. So, let's run you down through the grid. We have in 16th is Brandon Fuller for Brando Racing there, the 973. And 15th is Josh Whittick in that Toga Academy BMW, car 19. 14th is Sadek in the 299 Porsche. Dean Murrell in the 612 Frosted Ferrari. Josh Wood in the 22 McLaren. Stein Donkwalk in the 51 Ferrari there. Somehow I don't have that livery. I might have to make sure I've got that one downloaded. Apologies for that one. Gabriel Schmidt in the 55 Ford Mustang. Adam Modern in the Audi Sport Come To You car for number 3 in 9th. Ernest Limburgs in the Liam Neeson car number 420 in 8th. Andrei Oshakin for Red Panda Racing in the 134 BMW. Ethan Davis in the Toga Esports number 6 in 6th. Very nicely done. Ford Mustang. Roman for the Pega Motorsport in the 444 numbered car. That green Aston Martin. Number 86, Martin Varga in the Ford Mustang, again for Toga Motorsport. Chris Wall for Logistical Nightmare Racing in the number 4 Mustang, lines up in 3rd. Second is that 997 Fabian Gouloir for FB Esports in the Aston Martin. And our pole sitter is the number 70 Mustang of Victor Vincent for BF Racing. As you can hear, engines firing up. We are 17, 16, 15, 14 seconds away from the green light and the formation lap starting. Good evening, Hunter Davis. Let's go, Martin. Yes, that is. We'll shout out for that. I think I might have. Have I left this open slightly too long? Too early, and I've left the driver of the day. Yes, driver of the day is visible. Obviously, you have one vote in each Twitch and YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't have a TikTok account, so I can't see any of the chat on there. I do apologise for that one. It is something I've not managed to sort out at this moment in time. As everybody is all single file off on the formation lap. So yes, do remember that. Do keep an eye on what is going on track, same as we are. Anybody that is following, do give us a like, give us a subscribe, all of that good stuff. It all helps feed the algorithm and makes us feel all nice and warm and fuzzy. Also helps keep the lights on here. We do like that as well. There is also channel membership and that kind of thing, which again helps massively on keeping the lights on, as well as the my brain has just failed. You can also sign up in the same vein and have a Toga Motorsport membership itself via the website. All the links will be in the appropriate places in the description for that. That starts, I think that starts at like £1 a month, much the same as Patreon, but without all the Patreon stuff. But that does give you access to some additional bits and pieces within the server. I believe certain tiers will also get you access to early access to events and that kind of thing as well. So you get a chance to sign up before other people for things. So yeah, go check all of that out. Helps put on events like this and similar ones throughout the year. We also have various events coming up. Our weekly Wednesday series. It's the next. If you're wanting to have a go at the rookie series, and you've missed out on the one that's going on tomorrow, there's another one starting on the 7th. Go sign up. It's all on SimGrid. Again, go check out SimGrid. There's loads of cool stuff that we're getting up to. Various events are coming up on there. There's bits with LMU. There's bits with ACC. So yeah, we shall see how that goes. And yeah, come join us. It's good fun. As they are going to go 2x2 very shortly, as we see Vincent thoroughly trying to make sure his tyres are up to the temperature. You will lose so much heat going into that first corner because he's such a long run from the green line. Desperately trying to drag the car away, some heat into the tyres, as they are now lining up 2x2. Looks like Sadok has taken to starting from the pit lane in that Porsche, so that may be a good option, and that may unfortunately leave them off the back of the grid. We shall see what happens as they are rolling through the last corner, all 2x2, following their positions as designated on track. There's a big thing that comes up in front of you that tells you when you're in the right place and whether you're going fast enough. It will be a long hold for this grid, especially those up at the front. And you can see the Aston getting itchy on the throttle there, bouncing around on the speed limiter, waiting, and we are green. Let's go racing. Racing, everybody getting away reasonably well. That is the Ford Mustang of, is that Chris Wall? No, that is Varga is getting up alongside. That is the Nissan getting sandwiched out wide. Looks like it's all pretty good. No major. Oh, there's the Audi gets tagged. Not sure what happened quite there. Audi got tagged. Let's have a look back at that one and see how that's panned out. So the Audi in the middle there gets a little bit of a nudge from the Ferrari. Ooh, gets across in front of the McLaren. No major amount of harm done, and is let back past by Fuller there, and everybody is back underway. Everybody is really tightly packed together. What have we got in terms of gaps? It is the Limburgs is right in the middle of a pack of cars. The Ford Mustang of Chris Wall is just starting to pull away. It's just got the legs in a straight line. Also having to defend from that 444 Ford Aston Martin. I'll get there eventually. After feeling the need to go very, very defensive down into the last chicane here, does hold it off. Aston is trying around the outside, gets it a bit loose across the curb. Nissan holds on, but this is backing these two cars up into the clutches of the 55 Ford Mustang for Gabriel Schmidt there, and they are alongside. That has cost the Aston Martin a lot of time, although it's on the inside, on the brakes into the last corner here, and gets okay. The Mustang getting a little bit twitchy on the brakes and a little bit squirrely, loses out in the end as our leader has crossed the line. First opening lap was a 52.027. Very nicely done. Gaps are starting to open up. However, it is Mustang of Varga going for a little bit of a look there, but nothing major. Just letting Goular know that they are there in the mirrors. Who else is where? We've got a bit of a gap back to there. We have Oshikin in the BMW hunting down the two in front, which is the 51 and the 55. Anything happens with these two, that is going to be Oshikin's happy day. Ooh, that's the Ferrari having a bit of a moment there. Doesn't gain any advantage going across the chicane there. Doesn't gain any places, doesn't lose anything either. Very nicely done. We do like to see that from drivers. Not gaining advantage by going off track. That will see you pinged by the stewards, especially in these first 5 laps. But that has left Josh Wood right on the tail of this Ferrari. What can be done in the tow? No, can't do anything on the brakes. That Ferrari just a little bit too good on the brakes. Wood goes all over the curbs and hits one of the awful sausage curbs on the inside of that corner. And that is game over. Manages to keep it out of the wall and keep it out of Wittick's face there as they go skating across the track. Schmidt and Donkervolk have swapped places. Donkervolk getting through ahead of the 55. As I suggested, the 134 is now also in this battle. As these two have been battling ahead, it has drawn that BMW into this fight as well. So there are two big front engine cars versus that mid engine, very flat, very svelte looking Ferrari of Donkervolk. Donkervolk going to get sandwiched? No, but does have the Mustang of Schmidt up the inside. Can't quite make it happen. Going up the inside into the first chicane as they roll through along the short chute into Curva Grande. Looks like I'm struggling to keep track of everything. I'm seeing arrows changing on the and numbers changing. It looks like Goular is managing to keep Varga at bay for now. It looks like they may have swapped places, but swapped back almost straight away. What else have we got up and down the grid? The first few laps are busy, even with a 16-car grid. This is still really, really good. Looks like Sadek hasn't taken to the track, unfortunately. Oh no, it has taken to the track. May have had some technical issues that has led to that. Josh Wood there getting eaten up by the Audi. Did not see how that happened. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, gets a bit of a slide on, getting stacked up behind the BMW of Wittick there, and lets the Audi on through. So nice, simple, easy freebie for the Audi there with a struggling McLaren. Can the McLaren do anything to respond? With the BMW running very wide out of the last chicane there, eating some curb, and it is almost 3 wide going into the last corner. Donkervolk going very defensive, but has this opened up the inside for Oshikin? No, it has not. BMW just poking their nose in to see what's going on. It looks like there has been a 10-second penalty there for Josh Wood. I will check what that is in a second. I would guess it would be for the contact on the opening lap. And it is Varga through on the 997. I thought I saw that on the timing screens. Got through very nicely on the way into the first chicane. And that Aston Martin is going to hopefully try and tuck in to the draft of that big Mustang and try and hold on through the corner and try and hold on. All these cars have been trimmed out massively in terms of their aero for this track, so you can see the Mustang, which is a tail-happy car at best, is really tail-happy now, with the 997 Aston Martin hanging on its coattails very nicely there. What else have we got going on? I did see something between these three. It looks like three of Modern. Adam Morden is on the march, has got ahead of Josh Whittick there. Did see that change on the timing screens, didn't see how it happened on screen. That is an Audi, that's the recovering Audi that had issues earlier on. Where did they start? They are down 2 places from where they started, so hopefully looking to gain gain a couple more places to at least pull up from where they started. Martin Vargas gained 2 places so far. So's Davis, so's Lindbergh. Donkewalk's gained 3. Morel has gained 2. Whittick is currently changing places, according to my screen, with Wood. But there is a very large gap between the two of them. Did not see what happened there. As now Oshakin is right on the tail of that BMW, of that Ford Mustang. Donkewalk has got back past. I don't know where to look right now. There is like passes and all sorts going on with everybody. Gulwa is still right on the tail of that Mustang up at the front. All of this battling though is giving Vincent a chance to run away to the tune of 4.3 seconds already. Whilst these two have been battling, and that Aston is being ragged to within an inch of its life, and is not letting Varga go anywhere. As things are starting to open up a little bit across the grid, we have Sadek, who is running up alongside down into the last chicane with that McLaren of Fuller, who looks like it's going to be a nice clean overtake there in a straight line for the Porsche. Fuller not really challenging that one. And Gulwa is still hanging on to the tail of that one. Chris Wall, Ethan Davis battle now. That is Wall going to the outside of the other Mustang. This is who's got what in the way of setup and who's willing to be that little bit braver and who's had their Weetabix for dinner to keep going and push their car the hardest. These two starting to battle has brought that 420 Nissan into the fray as well. The Nissan right under the rear of that Mustang. Possibly some contact. Ooh, Mustang gets on the grass, loses it on the brakes. Gonna have to give that place back. And backs out of it. Does also loses, very cheekily done, loses out to the Nissan as well. The Nissan's just tucked up right behind the other Mustang of Davis there and just sneaks the extra place as well. Very cheekily done, very well done as well. So that is 2 places, a place lost whilst going for a place, and now has all that work to do again. And now has the Roman, that 444 Aston Martin that misses its braking point and nearly eats the back of the Mustang. That would not have been a good situation there. And that's that. Josh Wood, Jack Whittick. Yes, it's Wood versus Whittick now, with the battle up ahead as Mordan is closing in on Morel there as the Schmidt go. Oshakin gets past Schmidt on the brakes by the looks of things, but who's got the drag? It's left the BMW slow on the exit of the last corner, and that Mustang just says thank you very much and just drives past partway through the corner. Nicely done. BMW does hook up into the draft quite nicely. Mordan and Morel now. Mordan showing the nose up the inside, definitely having to give space there for the Ferrari. The Audi, can the Audi get a beautiful... Oh, that was textbook of a cutback. Is now going to be on the outside of Curva Grande, but gets it done, is hanging on there. That was a textbook cutback and how to do it. Held it out wide and got the drive on the exit. Can the Ferrari in the tow do anything on the brakes? No, can't quite get the air over the front of the car to get it stopped in time, and that is clean and done. So that is Mordan through, and he's going to be hunting down the 1.8 second gap now to Oshikin in the BMW. Let's see what they can do there. Let's have a check back with Ethan Davis and Limburg, Ernest Limburg there in the Nissan, getting a little bit tight under the rear wing in a straight line. That Nissan very, very good in the tow. Once it starts to drop out, it looks like it struggles a little bit for top speed. As Wood gets past Wittick, that's not really how we want to see that happen. Not quite sure what happened there. Let's go back and find out. Oh, I see. Oh, mistakes from both drivers there. The BMW gets it loose. The McLaren takes evasive action and gets eaten by the sausage curbs and has to take evasive action further. And all positions are resumed back to where they were. It looks like Gulwaz just started to tail off the back of Varga there in the Aston and Ford battle. Maybe the front tyres just starting to go away a little bit on that Aston, having to take it a little bit easier. Now they all do have a pit stop to do. It's, I believe, around the halfway mark, so it'll be around the 50 minutes gone to 50 minutes to go to about 50 minutes gone. I believe it's 10-minute pit window for this one, so that should be good fun. So that will be a chance to get new tyres, new top up on fuel, etc. But has got a really good drive, got into the tow there, right up under the rear wing of that Mustang. Mustang is very good on the brakes, I will say. Both cars eating the curb there. Oh, Mustang gets eaten by the curbs that we've seen, catching everybody out on the inside of that last chicane there. Gets away with it. I think the Aston had to back out to try and let people go. That is not quite sure what happened there. Let's go find out. Ooh, Aston has missed its braking point. Very, very much so there. No, I can't quite go back far enough. Okay. Apologies. Didn't see what happened there with the those two, although they are now attempting to trade places. Who's got the setup? No, it is Wall on the brakes. Keeps Davis out, or keeps Davis in check there. This is giving Limburgs a chance to run away to the tune of 1.4 seconds now to these two cars that are battling away. So you can see how much just that little bit of a battle has caused in the way of issues. It's great for us to watch, not complaining, but it is costing these two cars a lot of time, and it's slowly bringing the 444 back into this one, although it looks like Wall might just have the legs on Davis at this point. Whether Davis has cooked the tyres or not, I'm not sure. Those Mustangs obviously very, very slidey at the best of times, let alone trimmed out for this, as we have Oshikin now on the back of Schmidt going through the Lesmos. Looks like Schmidt has got the run on the exit, leaving Oshikin out, hung out to dry it a little bit there on the exit. So very nicely done. that is the first 15 minutes of this race done. As Fraga and Gulwa are changing places. It looks like Gulwa went for a bit of a dive on the brakes into the last corner, but couldn't make it stick. And the Mustang's just been able to drive back past. Although you can see the draft from that Aston. Fraga chasing across the track, squeezes them out, but racing room given, not quite. Aston really good through there, but Mustang torque when it gets hooked up Aston just doesn't have an answer to it as they roll through Curva Grande now up to the second chicane. Ethan Davis, Chris Wall is being kept honest by Davis here. And they are starting to close in a little bit on the now on the the 420. That gap coming down now 4.3 seconds. It was starting to eke out over almost 5 seconds earlier on. So over the course of a couple of laps, they've just managed to bring that down just by curtailing their own antics. Has brought them back, starting to bring them back into a shout now as Gulwa goes hard on the brakes, trying to make up any time they can on this on this Mustang in front. We've seen them try and go for a move. Is there going to be anything into the last corner going up to here? Can they manage anything? No, hung out wide. Now, can the Aston pinch the Mustang? No, the Mustang's got enough of an overlap and enough of a gap in front to hold that one. But we've seen how good the Aston is in the tow. Hooks right in, hooks left, hooks right, all over the rear of that Mustang. Mustang, it all up in the mirrors. That's going to be a real problem. Aston goes for a big lunge on the brakes, holds it out. Ooh, that was a bit of a squeeze on the exit there. On all counts, but no harm, no foul to either driver. Both stopped or allowed to recover, allowed each other to recover. So we shall see how that pans out. That, I believe, means we are now into post-race stewarding. So if that one wants to be reported, it will be looked into then. Aston Mustang failing to make the chicane, tries to turn in, clearly doesn't want to have any of it, and then suddenly does. But this little gaggle of mistakes that's come from these two cars has now brought the 420 Nissan into the fray there with these two cars. So what was a two-car battle is now very quickly becoming a three. And Chris Wall is only a second down the road. A second back up the road. So this could quite easily become a 4 or possibly even 5-car battle if Davis is dragged into the fray as well. With these two cars. As Donkvold, spinning like a top. Well recovered, well held by the Audi. What happened to you? Gets it on the curb, loses the back end, and that is just a pirouetting. Beautifully done. Possibly should have held your brakes a little bit more. That Audi was taking evasive action and was kind of stuck there. As we have Gulwa and Gulwa under fire now from the 420. And as I suggested, that is starting very quickly to become a 5-car battle now. Adding in that Wall and Davis battle. So Vraga from Gulwa, from Limburg, from Wall, from Davis now. All no more than 0.8 of a second between any of them. As the 420 is amazing on the brakes, up on the inside, a little bit of contact, nothing major, has to back out of it, but that's put Davis, has put Wall now right on the tail of that Nissan. Let's see how this pans out. The question is, though, is that going to give Varga a chance to run away as this lot starts battle? Varga is now 1.1 up the road, so quite possibly. It looks like the recovering Sadok is trying to charge down the 22 of Josh Wood. There is currently 8 and a bit seconds, almost 8.5 seconds between the two of them. But that gap is coming down relatively quickly. So let's jump back to this Varga, Gorwerg, Limburg's Wall and Davis battle. And also now it's starting to get into the sniffing distance of Roman there, who's just tugged in under a half second on the back of this battle. That could quite easily be second down to 7th, being under fire there with everybody. So let's jump into following Wall as they are somewhere in the middle of this group. And I'm going to keep an eye on my timing screen to see if anything else exciting happens. Not going to be a million miles away before they start catching up to the back of the 973. That will be a back marker. Is the Fuller car? Ooh, that's the Nissan getting a big twitch. That's not what you need in front of a Mustang that has got that much straight line speed. Although, I say that, and Nissan is seriously quick in a straight line. On the brakes, hard on the brakes. That Mustang is definitely better on the brakes. This turning back from the 5-car battle now into the 2 and 3-car battle. It's saying Josh Wood and Josh Whittaker have swapped places again. In the meantime, I'm going to jump back to this battle as the Aston goes round the outside, squeezes, can't quite get it on the gas enough. Minor contact, but nothing major. Aston right under the rear wing, can never seem to manage to get this to stick at any point. Aston Mustang of Varga having just a bit too much go in a straight line to make anything really matter. As we see that train of cars coming up from behind as well, these two are still battling it out. All of this going on has left the leader to a lead of 17 seconds up the road. So yeah, running away with it well and truly at the moment, and we shall see how this goes. Right, apologies for that, just had to sort some liquid out quickly there. Player 3 has entered the game now with this battle. That is the Limburg's Nissan catching up to the back of this group. Also, as predicted, the Aston Martin of the 444 is now right on the tail of Davis there in the Mustang. Davis going for a hell of a move, under fire from the Mustang. From the Aston of 444, the 444 might be about to lose 2 places in the process. of one corner. No, looks like he can just about hold it out. Roman there holding it on, trying to go the long way around Curva Grande. Can't hang on to it, but definitely feeling the need to go very defensive as Roman tries anything they can. Eats that curb well and truly. Can't, nice and stable across that. Doesn't bounce too hard at all. Very nicely done. There, but that is... Whew, that's a lot happening all at once. And again, this Varga-Limburg's Guar battle is currently still raging on. Oh, that is Varga going very wide. This looks like the invitation, the only invitation that Guar needed to say thank you very much. But that Mustang has got some straight line speed there. Tries to come back, but can't quite manage it. All menacingly, though, that Nissan is looking very, very hungry in the rear view mirrors now of Martin Varga. As they are all nicely through the first of the chicanes there, off the pit straight. Nothing too major to report. Mordan is now on the tail of Oshikin and is, after Oshikin's minor incident there of eating some gravel on the exit, it's going to be slow, but Mordan's going to be on the outside of Curva Grande, is right up against the rear wing of that BMW. What can anything be done here? No, not quite. Again, BMW very, very good on the brakes. We've seen Mordan make that absolutely textbook move through the chicane earlier on. So can anything be done here to Oshikin on the way through? As Wall has swapped places with Davies. That looks like it was a pretty slam dunk. Get the drive out of the exit, and that now leaves Davis in the clutches of the Aston Martins. That Davis has managed to get themselves, yes, they stayed ahead of the Aston Martin and has now managed to repass Davis. So that's Wall staying ahead of Davis there, getting back ahead of Davis, as the Aston has a bit of a wiggle in the background, staying right up tucked nice and neatly under the rear wing of that Mustang, taking as much advantage as possible of the draft there, as Mordan has dropped back. Morel is having a incident with the grass, and Wittick is having an incident of their own. I'm going to say in sympathy, just because it's funny. Both of them recovering reasonably well. Bit of time lost for both of them, but nothing too excessive. So we just check back in with our leader, who's having a very quiet race. Has just put a lap on the 973 of Brandon Fuller in the McLaren. It does look like Varga, Guar, having got past Varga, is now running away, as Varga is very much under fire from Limburgs now in the Nissan. Is it going to take a similar mistake, or is the Nissan going to be able to do this on their own merit? Not that forcing them into mistakes isn't of their own merit, as Davis now is overtaken by Roman there through the last corner, so very nicely done there, and is going to be back trying to hunt down the Wall, the Mustang number 4 of Chris Wall. Ooh, a little bit too late on the brakes there, mate. That will be, I'm sure, investigated by the stewards after the race. Mustang, everybody going past. That was looking potentially like a bit of a podium position, as Wittick is also having a gravel-eating kitty litter moment. But that has dropped them down into the clutches of Donkerwalk. Then in the 51 Ferrari. As the 444 has an issue there. Donkerwalk goes for a bit of a move. Can they force anything? No, not quite. That is Wittick in the pits. That is outside of the pit window. So whatever this is for. Oh, that looks like they've hit the wall a little bit hard. In front of that BMW, looking a little bit second hand. As we now have Morden is now up into 8th after all of that shenanigans that went on earlier on between the 444 and this car we are watching now of Chris Wall. Morden is now into 8th and is trying to chase down the 134 of Oshakin again. Limburg is 0.2 back from the Martin Varga Mustang. As Wall gets past and yeah, managed to hold off that cutback from Morden, and that is Wall back through ahead of the Audi. And I shall monitor that one on the timing screens as Limburg is desperately trying anything, any little snippet, any chink in the armour of Martin Varga is desperately trying to be exploited by that Nissan. We are looking like we're about 6 minutes away from the pit window opening. Excuse me there, just had to have a moment of a coughing fit. As these two that we're watching just are currently navigating the back marker of Brandon Follower. Josh Wittick is possibly parked for this one. Oh no, is down. Are they going to go anywhere? Nope, I think they have parked it. Yep, 2 minutes or so on pit road for them. So that looks like they may have called it for tonight. As Dean Morrell, I'm probably going to end up saying both at various points tonight, is hunting down Josh Wood in the 22 McLaren. Has a fantastic tow there coming up into the first chicane. Last of the late breakers. Who's got what? McLaren is on the outside. Will we see another? No, we won't see another fantastic cutback there. Ferrari just tries to get on the power and has a bit of a wiggle, and that's game over for that move. But we can see how strong that Ferrari is in the tow, able to drag straight up behind and carry the momentum on the inside on the brakes into the second chicane. Goes very, very deep, has to mount the curbs and lets the McLaren back past. And hunting these two down, about a second behind, is Sadek in the 299 Porsche. Limburgs is, I think, starting to struggle a little bit against the Mustang. The Mustang just having that bit of straight line speed advantage, and it's just able to get going. I think that Nissan may have been pushed a little too hard and is struggling with its tyres a bit more than they'd like at this point in the race. They have been running for almost 40 minutes, which, particularly with how hard and how fast these cars have been going, that's going to start to put a bit of a strain on tyres. They're not running at full race pace, but you're running in dirty air, and that does have a tendency to eat your tyres. As we stay with this battle, as a quick update on the leader, they are currently 20 seconds ahead of second place of Fabian Gouloir in the 997 Aston Martin, as the Mustang gets a bit of a wiggle and is desperately trying to hold off this Nissan. Any mistake, and that Nissan is all over the back of them, but can't quite seem to capitalise on anything. Looks like, yeah, we're down to 15 drivers, so unfortunately it looks like Wittick has opted to back out of this one. Oh, what have we got here? Nissan up the inside. Is that going to be too late on the brakes? No, pulls it up in time. Beautifully done. Got an absolutely cracking drive at the last chicane and gets that one done nicely. Has the Mustang got anything to give back in return? No, having to settle up into the toe on this one. And hard on the brakes into that first chicane. Looks like that is all clean and sorted for the Nissan of Limburgs in that number 420. We'll stay with this battle. Dean Morrell is kind of hanging on the coattails of Josh Wood. Chris Wall is hunting down, but not. Yeah, the gap's kind of stabilised around 3/4 of a second for these two. Ooh, Varga off. What's happened there? That's big. Martin Varga there. On the brakes. All nicely through the first half of the corner. Gets onto the curb. Is okay there. Coming into the Lesmos. Anything major? Or runs it wide, gets it on the grass, and that is a chewed front end for that car. They are now back in the pits. That sounded like something just happened. They didn't have a thingy to say something.
The pit is now open.
And that is the pit window open. So we'll see what this brings in terms of a shake-up amongst the order as everybody cycles through there. Our first caller is Ethan Davis. So that is pitting out of a fairly strong position. Martin Fraga is obviously already in. Donkvalk is in. So these are drivers trying to get a bit of an undercut on everybody else. So let's see where they file out as Sadek is also in. They Davies was first in. Let's see how clean of a stop this is. 31-2 down and away, and that is nicely done. 32 seconds out of the pits. That looks like going to rejoin in about 11th place. Having completed their stop. That was a slightly longer stop for Donkervalk. They've lost 2 seconds in the pit lane there. This is probably going to equate to that on the limiter. Yeah, 2 seconds. 107 versus 105. 32 down and away for Sadok. So that's been nicely done. Well, just looking at a few other things on the timing screens here. Car we're now looking at, Ernest Lindbergh, has managed to get 284 kilometers an hour out of that Nissan. The next closest car is the Mustang of Schmidt and the BMW of Oshikin, as Oshikin is under fire from Wall. Both of those cars have managed 182 miles an hour, kilometers an hour? 282 kilometers an hour. For Wall. Wall is through and nicely done there. Very nicely done. On the brakes, up the inside, and they are away and clear. Oshikin is now still up 1 place from where they started. Lindbergh's up 5, Schmidt up 5, Wall down 2. We did see that incident earlier, unfortunately. Oshikin up 1, Mordan up 2, Morel up 5, Wood up 3. That's a sentence and a half, I do apologise. Roman is down 4. Davis is down 5. Donkerwalk down 1. Sadok up 3. Fuller up 1. Varga down 11. That looks, unfortunately, like they may have also parked it for this race. As Josh Wood is in to the pits. And is... Ooh, this looks like a long stop. This isn't going to be good. That's 37, 38, 39, 40 seconds. This might be day done for that car as well. As we jump back on board with the Oshikin Wall battle, but it looks more like it is kind of done there, as Wood is tumbling down the order. It is down and away. That car evidently had a bit more damage than we could see. How long were they stopped for? As Morden gets past... Oshikin dies for the pit. How long was that for? 47 seconds on pit. Stopped. 1 minute 19 on pit road. Vraga has parked it 4.5 minutes for that car. So Oshikin making their pit stop. Leader is currently navigating back markers. That is the 444 of Roman, who has made their pit stop. So Ethan Davis is currently the highest placed car to have completed their stop, excluding Oshikin, who is currently in the pits as we speak. So we shall see how this plays out, where they file out from. Oshikin is down and away. Slightly long stop, especially compared to Davis behind, who was 3 seconds, and that goes through Davis there. That 3 seconds has cost them dearly, and is actually going to put them behind the 444 of Roman, as well as that as the number 6 BMW of Davis. That has not gone well. Wall is about 0.8 back from Schmidt, who is currently navigating their way past the... that's the number 22 of Josh Wood. Ooh, a little bit of a bump there from the 2 Mustangs going into the pit lane. Hopefully it's not cost either of them a speeding ticket. Otherwise that may be a chunk of time Barbecue. Evening Possum, yes, this started. Oh, you could have joined. A lot of the top 10 haven't driven with any of the top 10 before, I don't think. Yes, there has been some absolute cracking moves. Possibly so far, move of the race has to go to the Audi for that cutback that they managed to pull at the first chicane. It was textbook and beautifully done for that car. The grid's kind of spaced out a little bit now, as everybody is making it their relevant pit stops. Ooh, this is going to be, they're coming out in the same order as they pitted. Both right underneath each other's rear wings. That looks like Schmidt got a slightly better go than Wall, so Wall's got to keep up on the tail of that one, and that is Donkerwalk. They're catching. Looks like Schmidt has picked up a stop-go 30. Given that we don't have any live stewarding, that will be for probably speeding in the pit lane. So unfortunately, that may not have been under their own volition. Yeah, sadly not. That is, yeah, there's no live stewarding due to the numbers of vehicles. They only live stewarded the first 5 laps. So that will be probably looked at post-race, as I'm not entirely sure that was entirely out of their control, as we are looking at... Where has... Mordan is the only one who hasn't pitted. I was looking at the timing screens there and going, what on earth is going on? Why is Mordan in the lead? But no, 23 seconds is the gap, arbitrarily due to the pit stop cycle, and that is Schmidt and Wall side by side. Let's hope neither of these end up in the wall. Excuse me. On the way through, Wall is on the brakes up the inside. And is cleanly through there, through the second chicane and into the Lesmos. Let's see, or hang with this, as it's about the only major battle going on, as Mordan is now in the pits. We'll see how this goes, see where they file back out. But it looks like it's fairly well as it was. Vote 299. Why hasn't that worked? I thought I had the right numbers. It hasn't verified. You've done that right. You're wanting 299 Sadok for driver of the day. It's there. Give me a second. I will just double check. I haven't beamed something up. It hasn't registered it as a vote. I will keep a mental note of that. If it doesn't work in a second, I'm just going to redo the overlay and see if that makes any difference. Give me a second. Do try that one again. If you want to try and do the driver of the day, apologies, I may have got something wrong. Either that or something broke. Green Mustang. Sorry, I was staring at. Thank you very much, Possum, for that one. Let me just grab race control. Let's go back. Oh, I can't go back far enough. Apologies for that one. Mordan is currently having issues, as is Josh Wood. Give me a few seconds. We're still stuck in a replay. I can't jump out of them, unfortunately, to see what's going on there. But I will. Oh, okay, that was the issue for the Mustang. For the Audi. Looked like Josh Wood had probably a similar level of issue in various places. Where has that put the... Oh, that has put the Mustang way back down the order of Schmidt. Schmidt way back down the order there with that incident. Can confirm, fastest lap of the race goes to Vincent with a 47.207. As Wood has just jumped up a place. Have we lost? No, we haven't lost anybody. I think... Oh, that Mustang looking very second-hand on the front of that, I think. No? Maybe not. No, it's just the livery and I'm being mildly blind from this angle. So, we are 36 minutes and 18 seconds to go. We have had almost an hour of this race already. That has disappeared rather quickly. Yeah, there's been a lot of people getting caught out on the hairpin. Sorry, on that second chicane with the sausage curbs on the inside of the right-hander. So you got the left in and then the long right-hander. There's a couple of really nasty sausage curbs on the way through there. That if you hit them, one of them is massive and it just sends cars to space. It's quite impressive. I've seen a few people get caught out by that, trying to eat too much of that curb on the inside. It looks very, very tempting, but no, one of those... It's literally just one of them. It will just send you to space. I have caught it many a time. It's not a pleasant experience. As we're just having a look with the Mustang of Vincent here, going down into the first chicane there. Rather nicely done. Let's jump on board with the Aston Martin for a lap, shall we? As they are chasing down... who is that? Not sure who that is in the front, but I believe that will be a back marker, given that they are in second. Bit of opposite lock on the way out, not the tidiest through there. Thunderous V8 of the Aston Martin, that twin-turbo V8 does sound rather glorious. Flicks the car through the second chicane. Very much hanging on to this car at this point in the race. Properly throwing it around, eating every last inch of curb that they possibly can. Properly tail happy into the first half of that chicane. Gathers it all up though, but you can see how fast this Mustang in front is. It's just not getting away. It will be potentially under blue flags. I don't have access to the gaps. That was a touch on the grass just before they went on the brakes. Not the best of things to try and do. Little bit of a scruffy lap, but definitely an okay one nonetheless. They are currently running in second, so clearly doing something right. 997 Aston Martin of Goa. Who else is out there? There is nobody anywhere near anybody at the moment, apart from back markers. So I don't really know what to talk about. If anybody wants to jump in chat, feel free to. There's some bits of board scattered all over the place there. Our leader is coming up onto the back of... I can't quite see which car that is, although I would be able to find out if I look at... that would be Josh Wood is the next car up the road for the leader. Down in 11th will be the next victim to go a lap down. Fuller has now climbed up to 13th as Braga has parked their car and the drop-offs that we have had. Who else and where else are we going then? How is the Liam Neeson car doing? He is happily in the middle of nowhere. 11 seconds back from Goa and about 11 seconds ahead of Davis. As Vincent just sets the fastest lap of the race so far. 1 minute 47.2 flat. In fact, I believe we had a time during qualifying. I can't remember who it was. Somebody in qualifying did exactly the same time. The leader has just done that in race trim. Really, I'm surprised, Possum, you haven't raced against Davis. Given that they're one of the Academy crew and turn up in a lot of races. We are coming up to the half an hour to go mark. Yeah, it is. There's not a huge amount to commentate on, unfortunately. There's not a huge amount going on. Hope everybody is having a lovely Tuesday evening. And everybody has had a lovely Tuesday in general. Hello, Ethan. Were you out on track earlier? If you were, I'm sorry to see you in chat. It usually means you have, yes, had issues. What else have we got going on? It's not a huge amount going on. The 444's doing quite well. Who's done what in the way of positions? Fuller's actually up too. Well done. I'm assuming that's on attrition. Biggest gains have been from Limburgs, who's up 5. For Ernest Limburgs in the Liam's Neeson 420 Nissan GTR. With that staggering 284 kilometers an hour top speed. 282 is the next highest I'm seeing, and that is for Chris Wall in the number 4 Mustang. 281, and then it's 280, and then actually kind of a big jump off. 278, 273. Looks like the big jump off. Sad as you might expect, being a Porsche. I know I've seen you in something. I can't remember which one it was that had commentated you on. Come have a go. It'll be fine. Unsurprisingly, the Porsche has the lowest top speed of 273 in a straight line. So, yes, we'll see you out on track tomorrow night then for the rookies. That's the last round of the rookies for this season, actually, isn't it? Season 14? Wow, we are up to season 14 on the rookies. That is impressive. That is genuinely impressive. How are we doing? Chris Wall's down 4 places. Started in 3rd. You've not had a particularly good time, although you are trying to climb back up. What is the gap? 3 seconds? It's sort of slowly coming down to the 134. So you might be able to gain one of those back by the end of the race. Evening. Flattest Uncle 7. That moment, everyone on track is considered an ACC pro. So it's basically anybody that's not in the rookies' speed. Essentially. Oh, 299. Why is that? Okay. I don't know what's going on. It might be me getting something wrong with the overlays and everything. It's been a while and I have had to rebuild my OBS since I last streamed, so I may have got something wrong. I will double check. I'm due to be streaming on Saturday. Apologies. I have seen 2 votes for 299, so I am keeping a mental note of this. So if you do put it in chat, I am going to keep a mental note, and I am actually going to write this down. There we go. We have 2 for 299. So yes, if you do want to put it down, I will keep a mental note of it, / a physical note down next to me. If anybody does want to do driver of the day, I do apologise. I thought I'd done that right. I may not have done it right. I may have been a bit of a Burke. Or Hayden broke something again, which is always plausible. Honestly, it's probably my ability with technology more than anything else. It's not great. Wilson, it's going to be a very spicy race for the end of the season. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the track is tomorrow. Where is it? Also, I'll have a quick look on SimGrid and let you know of the fun and games that we have coming up. Obviously, we have Season 14 coming to a close tomorrow at Red Bull Ring. So that's going to be exciting. There is this one, which is the Pro Series. Got another couple of weeks, I believe, to run. Races. This one runs through till 22nd of April. Next week is the last round. It's a 6-round series. So next week will be the last round at Suzuka. We obviously have this week at Monza. We've had Spa. We've had Red Bull Ring, Bathurst, Paul Ricard. What else have we got? Fun and games. We've got the members meeting on Saturday. Saturday, which is the slightly curtailed event from what it was. That is a team event to celebrate 5,000 members on SimGrid. So do come and join in and come and have a go at that one. I believe there is, maybe, it's saying post a reserve team. There may be space, there may not be. By all means, post a reserve team, you may get a chance to race. You will get pinged by the admins, and higher-ups that keep an eye on all of this. It's beyond my pay grade. As if I get paid. No, I do this for fun, because it's fun. It's lovely hanging out with you lot. Has the helicopter ever run out of fuel? That would be a fun one. You can't use this anymore. It's had to go and sort of a fuel. No, although useless fact, they do have a limit on how low they can fly, because the downdraft from them will have an effect on the cars. So they do actually have a fairly strict minimum height they have to be. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's something like 600 or 700 feet. They have to be above the circuit, otherwise the downdraft actually can potentially cause issues with the cars. Such is the speed, such as the volume of air that those things can move. So what else have we got going on? We have many endurance rounds. We do also have the 12 Hours of Watkins Glen. Do go and sign up for that one. It is a joint event with folks over at CRF. It's 12 Hours of Watkins Glen going on Saturday. There are still spaces. If you feel like doing that, by all means come and join. We have the Summer Sprint Series, which is, I believe, a hot lap challenge. Yep, set 5 valid laps at... and run up to the 3rd of May at 8 PM. To qualify, starting point of this championship, you have to qualify is 5 laps. Complete 5 laps by the 3rd of May at 8 PM. To qualify, you must, 5 laps. Join the website. There's a whole website with a link, and that will give you everything. And there will be all the information is on Discord. It is a slightly complicated event, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Go get your laps in at Silverstone, and then you'll be split into the appropriate events after that. So that is what's coming up. Season 15 Rookies is obviously up for sign-ups. We've actually signed up for that one. I'm wanting to go and go racing again, and probably come very much last. We also have the Manufacturers Cup. That is 992 GT3 Cup cars. So if you like running around in mid-end, rear-engined, very, very tail-happy Porsches, go sign up for that. They are a lot of fun to drive, especially if there is any moisture around. We also have the LMU Sprint, powered by Coach Dave. That is on the 17th of May, so go feel free to sign up to that. That is a multi-class event of LMGT3s and hypercars. So that should be a fun one for everybody to have a look at as well. And then there is all the this year's endurance events that are all up as individual events, so you can enter as many or as few as you would like. There is a series that will be tallied up over the course of all of the events, and you will be able to score points, and there is, of course, points means prizes. One of the races is the 6 hours of Donington Park, if you particularly like that circuit. So that one will be a fun one. Like I said, it's 6 hours of Donington, 12 hours of Spa, endurance, 6 hours of Hungara, 8 hours of Imola. 8 hours of Imola for that one. That finishes that event is on the 27th of September, starting the Endurance League with that run at Donington from the 28th of June. Also, on the 24th of May, Toga turns 3. 2 hours of fun at Barcelona. So that'll be another one to have a look at as well. that's everything. Oh, basically for what we've got planned for the rest of the year. That I know of, anyway. So yeah, get your joining in. Feel free to join in. Feel free to come have some fun. You never know. You might find myself or one of the other comms team on track. Or you might hear us yapping away and making all sorts of silly noises over the airways and over the internet. Doing this. You never know. You might get spotted on camera, whether it's doing something good or something slightly silly. Both are acceptable options. So, how are we doing? Ooh, we actually have some racing on. There is a race going on. Funny that. So we have Chris Wall, as I suspected, with 18 minutes to go, is now right up against the back end of the 134 Oshikin car with BMW. Also, the Aston Martin of Roman, sorry. I had all the names in my head there. Of Roman is side by side with Ethan Davis going for. This is for fourth and fifth overall, and they are side by side on the pit straight now. Who has got the brave pill on the brakes? No, it is the Mustang that holds out on that one and comes out on top. On top and is clear there. Wall through the same corner. Let's see how you manage that. Wall has got past Oshikin, doing the thing that the Aston couldn't quite do. Actually managed to beat the Mustang on the brakes. Beat the Aston BMW on the brakes. When is the sun? Yes, the Endurance Series. That goes through from June till September. Yeah, it's kind of the end of the summer holidays here in the UK. So kind of the summer, early autumn. But yes, there is endurance races, various lengths. Evening on. I cannot deal with that. Awesome. If there's any of the Twitch mods listening in, can you deal with something in Twitch? I don't have permission to deal with it. I don't have the ban hammer. So yeah. No, it's all looking relatively calm and quiet out there so far. Radionov, Roman. I keep wanting to say Roman Rusinov, which is, if anybody remembers them racing in the ELMS, well done. You're doing well. Sorry, we have Roman in that Aston Martin, who is still hounding the back of Ethan Davis. The question is, these two battling and Chris Wall's speed. There's 15 minutes to go. I think you can see where this is going. And what I'm thinking. There may be a chance that Chris Wall actually starts to get a bit of a chance to come back after their incident earlier on and have a pretty good end to this one and end up potentially in the top 5. 6.5 seconds into tall order, but more time has been made up in less time on other cars. Yeah, we are down to 13 minutes 45 to go. Ooh, that was a dive and a half from the Aston Martin. We've seen that one tried it before. Again, much to no avail, but definitely getting all over the mirrors and definitely, certainly going to be an attempt at unsettling the Mustang of Ethan Davis there. And yeah, Chris Wall down to 5.5 seconds now, so has pulled out a second in a couple of laps on these two cars. So this may come down. Now the question is, if Wall and Roman start battling, what then happens to Davis? Can Davis get away, or is Davis then stuck with being attacked and then more attacked as everybody gets a bit stuck? Having said that, hell of a drive out of the at the first of the Lesmos there. Tries to go for something into Lesmo 2, can't quite get it done, and it's left him a little bit slow coming down at this next stretch. In under the old banking there, and down into the last chicane. Let's have a quick view from this angle of this battle. Evening, Mank. Hope you are doing well. That is the Aston Martin. It's going to be a Roman's going to be able to draw a pretty accurate picture from memory of both the livery and the shape of the back end of an Aston Martin at the end of this race. Oh, again, does really well into the first of the Lesmos. There's just nowhere to go with that going through. But can they get the drive on the exit right up under the rear wing again? Aston Martin is all over the back of that car. Let's see what we can do. This is what it looks like from the rear wing. Ethan Davis having to go somewhat defensive into the chicane, but that's going to leave him slow on the way out. Can the Aston do anything? No, the Aston's just not got an answer for the torque of that Mustang out of the last chicane. Every time these two go on the brakes, that Aston Martin just hauls up underneath the rear wing, and there's nothing that Ethan can do about it. It is just there, menacingly, and somewhat annoyingly. Gap now 4.7 seconds as Roman goes for a dive around the outside, can't quite get it. Mustang goes deep but covers off that beautifully. All of this is playing into Wall's hands well and truly, as we also have Sadok is starting to come under fire from Morel in the 612 Ferrari. Again, really good run out of the last chicane for that Aston. Lick of flame there from that one, all over the front rear bumper of this Mustang. Can they? They just can't make anything, make any move happen, can they? Do we get right down? Let's go with that one. Let's go with that. See what they can see. The one that we'll go with that one because you don't have an annoying mirror in the middle. As the Aston is there, again, there's just places where the Mustang is just that little bit better, and they can't do anything about it. This is the battle of the V8s. German twin turbo power versus American stallions. Gets out under the rear wing, forces Ethan to go really defensive. Can they get one off guard? No, they can't. This is genuinely really impressive. Ethan being extremely fair. That's not how we like to see that end. And that's left Wall through into 4th place. Does let the Mustang go back past to give place back. Schmidt's got a drive-through. That's going to be for track limits. Well done. Somebody's got speed tokened. Ooh, Aston is pushing so hard. There are places where it's better, and there's places where the Mustang's better. And I don't know what just happened. I'm suddenly seeing a lot less people on my screen. I don't know if that's a me issue, or if that is a them issue, or a server issue. I guess we'll find out. That looks like the 444 has just disappeared off the timing screens and disappeared off altogether. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think they may have actually just disconnected due to the fact that everybody else is now climbing up places as they go past where that car would be on track. That's a shame. Unlucky trying to keep revs going on an Aston low gear. Yeah, he's tried a couple of times, not quite made it stick. And yeah, unfortunately, looks like they have disappeared off our timing screens. Morel is starting to, however, come up under the rear wing with 4 minutes to go. Morel is now very much up, starting to get up under the rear wing of that Porsche. This could be potentially on for the last couple of laps of the race. So we'll stick with this battle between the Ferrari and the Porsche. Battle of the 6 cylinders. Neither in a conventional layout. Although, I say not in a conventional layout. The Porsches always run this. Flat six. Excuse me, I apologise for all the coughing this evening. Yeah. The Ferrari being a very wide angle, very almost old, almost harks back to the very early days of engine design. That extremely wide angle, flat plane, 120 degree V6 that car runs, whereas the Porsche runs a flat six. I believe it is actually a true boxer as well in those cars. But 4-litre twin, 4-ish litre twin turbo flat six, 3.5, 4 litres versus 4.2 normally aspirated in the Porsche. Hence why it screams to silly RPM. Personal best for Sadek last time by 48.8 laps. So very nicely done there. Is just keeping morale at bay. We are 2 minutes 22 to go. Where is our leader on track? I'll keep an eye on that one on the timing screen. Our leader on track is going through the Curva Grande and up to the second chicane. So this is going to be a couple of laps, I would have thought. I'll get this one, and I believe that will be one more, and that will be it for this race. They don't only have a 27-second margin. So this looks like it's going to be the last couple of laps for this race. There will be a short interlude, very briefly, before we do any driver interview. So if anybody does want to come and have a chat, you're more than welcome to. And we shall see how this goes. Yeah, a minute and a half to go. They are coming up through to the last chicane. They're not going to get another one after this. That will be a commanding... No, I'm not going to comment. I very, very nearly cursed commentated that and said it would be a commanding victory just as they were as they headed off track through the last chicane. If that had gone wrong, that would have entirely been my fault, cursed the commentator. Oh, it's going to be one of those really strong nights, isn't it? I thought it might be. And leader is...
Leader's on final lap now.
There we go, 50-odd seconds to go. Martin Varga has parked it. So is that somebody else that's run away? Let me see... Are we missing a number? Possibly somebody else has parked it. I'm not quite sure who that was. We're down to 12 cars total. Personal best last time by for Fabian Gouloir with a 47.350. Very nicely done. Start there for final lap. Oshakin is right on the tail of Davis for the... Ooh, as Davis has a big moment, almost collects Oshakin, and that lets Oshakin through. "90 minutes at this pace is not an easy thing to keep up. And I think we're starting to see some of the cracks show, especially at this time of night. We are tuning in for the last little bit. Now, I'm hoping this has all been enjoyable for everybody, as these two have started their final lap. As the 612 goes for a spin in front of the leader there, just as the leader is coming around to start their to complete the race. And that is the leader all said and done. What has happened to the Ferrari now manages to come through, it doesn't lose a place there, has enough space to have an accident and get away cleanly. It is the 997. Looks like they're going to be the next one to cross the line. That's going to bring them home in second, or without any post-race stewarding. That's where they're going to come through. Limburg's. It does look like it might be Limburg's as the next car. It does. The 22. 22 crosses the line and goes for an absolutely massive accident. Very well done. And the 420 crosses the line there in third. That rounds out your top three. Fourth is going to be Chris Wall, is going to bring that home as they come down into the last corner now. That will bring them home in fourth. Fifth is going to be Oshikin, providing Davis can't make any moves through this last corner. Oshikin running very deep, very wide. What can happen now? I'm glad I skimmed back to this one. Who's got this? Is a drag race to the line. Who's got the grunt? It looks like it's going to be the Mustang just about. What a way to finish that one off. That was those two all finished. That is going to leave Sadek as the last one to cross the line, as that howling Porsche engine rings out the night as it comes across the line to finish the race. Right, please bear with us just a moment. Right. Good evening, everybody. Let's have a quick skim through to see if anybody is. There is nobody in the driver interviews waiting room. If anybody did want to come and have a chat, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I think we might call it very shortly then. So, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who did come and race and gave us, actually, in places, a genuinely fantastic thing to watch. So, yeah, very much thank you for all the drivers. Thank you very much to those behind the scenes who have been able to set all this up. Hayden, Matt, Hayden and Dex for doing a lot of the back office setup server stuff. Dex for fixing for fixing some of the things that Hayden's managed to do. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody there, and we shall see you all tomorrow night, when I believe it is going to be myself and Rio on to run the rookie series. So yeah, as nobody has come and joined into the interview waiting room, I will bid you all a good night, and I will see you and speak to you all tomorrow. Thank you, and good night.